What's going on, boys? No guys here, welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to go over how does tactics influence your gameplay. How does each and every single tactic influence gameplay? What's the pro player tactics? Why my tactics change, why everything changes post patch, what influences gameplay and misconceptions. Now the first thing is pro player tactics. You want to see most pro player tactics? You ready for this absolute secret thing that no one's going to tell you about? You guys ready? This is it. Maybe the depth would be like this, 5-5 I would say. Maybe the depth sometimes 7 for losing. I would say most of the time from most FIFA 3. That's the pro player tactics. Now, why this won't work for you is because you're not a pro player. You might see now occasionally pros using long ball. Thankfully now it's becoming much more common now, and thankfully becoming more acceptable. But the truth is that the reason why they have everything like this is because they're doing everything on manual. The best way I can explain this to you is imagine you're driving a manual car, and imagine, you know, if they're on a gas pedal and the accelerator and the brake, heel and toe, shifting, redlining, everything. They know everything to the nth detail. These are the pros. They don't need any assistance. You need to drive an automatic car. You need an automatic car because maybe you don't know how to change gears as well. That's what basically they're doing. They're controlling the game. Even when I'm playing serious, if I'm playing, let's say I was in a tournament, I'll play possession. Why? It's because I'll trigger every single player manually myself. Why? It's because I want full, complete, total control over the game. The problem is that most players that watch these videos, they don't understand the game. And therefore, when they try to drive a manual car, they will stall. And that's the same thing that happens in FIFA. The same thing transfers over to this game. So that's the reasoning why. Now, my tactics, they differ. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but my tactics take a long time to make. When I make a tactic, I understand the game very, very well. I know what works. Then I give the tactics out to people so they can test them. That way, when you, no matter if you're a Gold 3 player or whether you're an Elite 1 player or Elite 3 player, the idea is your tactics are made so everyone plays better by default. That is why if you watch my tactics video, you might be thinking, how come mine are better? Well, I'm not saying that to sound arrogant, but I'm just saying you might find it's better for you. Why? It's because they're made for you to play better. Like long ball. I remember when I first used long ball, everyone just laughed at me like, oh yeah, long ball, what are you doing? You don't know what you're talking about. But the people don't understand is it makes your team more attacking. You don't use L1 triggers. It helps you so much. If you give this to even if you put long ball to the average Gold 3 player to Gold 1, they will exponentially improve their attack simply because their players move forward. Now, if you're running out with your centre back, it doesn't matter if you've got the best tactics in the world. If you're running out with your centre back, creating a hole in your defence, you're still going to concede. So I understand that's the point. Now, how do tactics change? Everyone asks why the tactics change. Now, this is the thing. Tactics don't change. That's your gameplay change. This is what's important. Let me explain to you. When the game came out, you could be completely fine. Okay, let's say for example when the game, okay, the 3-5-2 was always meta, but let's just say for example the 4-2-3-1. This was a fine tactic to use. It was more than attacking enough. It's because everyone was playing the 4-2-3-1. Then when everyone changed to 3-5-2, then there was problematic with 5 defenders at the back. Then when the 5 defenders came the meta, which it always was the meta, by the way. I was the meta when I said, even when I made this video FIFA 19-20, I told you it was the meta back then anyway. It still was. But when the whole community started following in suit, because Dylan might use it in a cup, then everyone using 5 defenders, overload the ball side, 1 width. That is why tactics change. That's why I've gone from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-5-2, because the 4-2-3-1 is too defensive. You need to have 2 strikers and a cam. You need to have a 5v5 up against your opponent's 5 defenders. And that is why formations change. It's the same thing with depth. You're seeing, for example, depth being risen up to 7. Now, it was always known to be a very, very effective measure. People like to call it auto offside trap. All it is for me is the defender keeps the highest line possible, considering the attacker, if he's not given the fact he's not on stay forward, wherever the first attacker is, they try to play him offside. Now, this wasn't the case for all players. If you played most players, they'll be sitting back like this. But because the game developed, patches came out that changed the gameplay. So bridges, for example, were nerfed. And what people were doing is they're realizing, okay, direction nutmeg became the meta. People were sitting back a bit more. And then the fullbacks and centre back came the meta. When it was the meta already again, but when everyone started following again, then fullback and centre back became the meta. People are like, okay, we can now take a higher risk and play higher line. And that is why tactics change. Tactics evolve. And it's kind of like real life. think about Chelsea. You know, when I think was it in 2016 when we beat Chelsea, Arsenal beat Chelsea, was it 4-0, 3-0, and Conte went to his 5 at the back system. He changed the system, he adapted, and ended up becoming one of the biggest, best systems in the Premier League for that year. So everything changes depending on the way the game is going. A lot of tactics influence things a different way. You know, we saw constant pressure being nerfed. That was another thing that was a big issue. You know, we saw constant pressure being so effective. People pressing left and right, up and down. In the beginning, no one used it that much. Then they added, of course, team press in. They've added a nerf to that. And then constant pressure was the way to go. But what that meant is people couldn't sporadically use team press in the game when they wanted to. And now there was a time restriction. So things changed. And that is the reason why tactics change so much. That's why, for example, like this week, if I wanted to, for no reason, I could have uploaded a tactics video. But you know why I didn't? Because I've not changed my tactics. I only release those videos if I change my tactics, and that is, in case you're wondering why I've not uploaded a video, because I've not changed it. What I'll be doing is I'll be making some new formation videos. I got a couple of it in the pipeline. I got the 4-2-3-1 with 2 strikers coming out soon. I got the 4-5-1 wing attack gameplay. I got a lot of these formations that will come out. They're not going to replace the current formations, but they're going to be some good, fun formations to use. Maybe the 4-2-3-1 will follow, and maybe, but that is it. And that is why the game changes so much and sporadically. It's also the players. You know, if you think about team of the season now, not the fact that everyone's using fullback centre back. Everyone has got cracked team. You know, Ronaldo at one point, he cost 1.4 million, even higher at one point. Now he's very much affordable at 250k. Neymar is about 100k now. You get one of the best cards in the game. And think about how easy it is to get coins well. So you can get Neymar, one of the best cards in the game, for 100k. It's very, very easy to get these players. And that means when you're defending, things will change. Same with Park the Bus. The reason why you're not enjoying the game now, and even myself, I don't play this game. Number one, because of my wrist pain. This entire year, most of you guys will know I've been struggling with wrist pain. I can't have surgery, obviously, because the situation, the pandemic, you can say. So I'm waiting for that. But I can't play more than 2 games in a row. I'll be honest, for the first time in my life, I'm happy. Because the game's not enjoyable. Because everyone's just sitting back like this with the 5-3-2 and balance 1-1, whatever, overload ball side, drop back. And this problem, because all these players are using back 5s. And by the way, I may have started the 5-3-2, don't get me wrong. But I never influenced using 1 depth, 1 width, all this rubbish. But because everyone's got players like team of the season, Lazaro, players like, you know, Jordi Alba, because these guys are so cracked and they're got high interceptions and high attack position, so high defensive work rate and, you know, best defense, stand tackling, defense awareness. It's so hard to beat them in 1v1 situations. So stop blaming me for the 5-3-2 and fullback and centre back. I agree that maybe I started it, or maybe some people did it before me back in the day when I used to do it like FIFA 11, FIFA 10 days. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not the one at fault. I'm not the one telling everyone to park the bus. Same way I don't teach the bridge or mechanic using. So before you come at me saying this is all my fault, it really isn't. You can't blame the person in a supermarket selling, for example, cutlery and someone using it as a weapon. So don't blame me for that. Because everyone keeps messaging me on a regular basis that apparently is my fault. But what can you do, I suppose? But, you know, you understand how tactics now influence the game. And that is why, for example, certain things like the fullback method change, the 5-3-2 method change, the 3-5-2 method change, the park the bus method change, the team press method change. Every single thing that comes into the game, it changes. And it's also with gameplay. If the gameplay is more rigid, more delayed, you might change. So, for example, very recently, if you remember, I used to have the 3-5-2, and I used to have both these players on getting behind, maybe at least one getting behind, one on comeback and offense. I put them to stay forward. I've even removed stay central. Why have I done that? It's because the way the game is, delay. When I try to pass the ball to the striker, the game tries to remodify my pass by doing a through ball, or maybe let's say I do a regular through ball, it ends up doing a pass and thereby messing up my opportunity. A lot of things I test in the background and see what works, and from experience I know what works well, and that is why tactics, instructions, everything like this, they change. And that is why I release those weekly tactics. Those weekly tactics videos are for you to copy, because I know most of you guys, you don't have time. You just want, you don't want to see, for example, what's going on here or there, all you want to do is you want to go click on a video, for example, see my tactics, what I'm using, and you just probably just skip through this, and that's completely fine. You know, of course I got a complete in-depth video, but that way is a quick video for you. I know most of you guys are working, you got family, you got kids. You're not going to sit there watching an entire video. Some of you will because you enjoy it, but for those who want tactics, just watch this video and that's it. You're done with it. Again, I don't upload it for no reason. The last ones I wrote last week, none this week, because I've not changed any tactics whatsoever. In fact, you can see if I even go over the beginning, you can see it's the exact same system that I have right now. So do bear that in mind. That is all information in regards to tactics, and that is how tactics evolve and how they change the way the game is. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions, do let me know down below in the comment section. I'll be very much happy to answer any questions, and if you have any questions, I might make a video on it. And if you have a good idea, maybe I think I'll give away some free Patreon access. I think I'll start doing that as a favor, and thank you to the community. So let me know in the comment section down below. Write down a comment, maybe a video suggestion that you do have a question. If I do pick it, I'll give you Patreon access for 1 month for free, of course 18+ only, of course. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate all your help, and don't forget all my social media links are down below in the description and here as well. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.